was in Prague in the glorious Czech Republic from June 7th to June 14th, 2018. The Czech Republic is also sometimes called Czechia, but I'm not sure who by. For this one, I called up my friend Mary Kobayashi, who I used to do a bad relationship advice podcast with. I do a lot of podcasts, and when the revolution comes and podcasters get what they deserve, I will not ask for forgiveness. Speaking of the revolution, while I was in Prague, someone introduced me to 60s Czech pop music. It's good stuff, but I didn't know the political background until I read up on it while looking for things to do besides edit this episode. There's this great singer, Marta Kubisova, which I'm definitely not pronouncing right, but you get it. She performed this beautiful, energetic, Baroque pop, somewhere between like Franz Gall and Scott Walker. Her and two other singers started a group called the Golden Kids, and they were at the forefront of this kind of Western-influenced Czech pop scene that became huge just before and through the Prague Spring. Marta Kubisova and the Golden Kids became a symbol for the resistance during the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia, and 2 years later, the government banned her from performing, using doctored photo montages as evidence that she was a pornographer. She could only perform in underground events until the fall of the regime 20 years later, in 1989. Sort of happy ending, though. Her and the other two Golden Kids have performed since the 90s, and apparently they're still huge media figures even today. That's a lot of factual information, probably the most that's ever been on this podcast, and I promise it will never happen again. Or my podcast's name isn't Bad Travel Podcast. Take it away, Marta.
Zář sáronské růže je v ní žárdenice odpolední, na rtech jejich réva sladká, nardem voní kůže hladká, jmenuje se Magdaléna, není svatá, je jen žena, aleluja. Jak studnice bývá, žena zámkem ctnosti uzamčena, přijde poutník, smírá kýzní, vodu žalář stupně trýzní, žízeň stiší Magdaléna, není svatá, je jen žena, aleluja. Špatně luna hrozny hlídá, lišky vinic nedohlídá, mužů těch je mnohem více, dala jim klíč od vinice, není svatá, je jen žena, proto hřeší Magdaléna, aleluja. Marně luna lišky stíhá, vinici už neostříhá, slyším volat farizeje, tato žena v peklo spěje, amen pravím, amen stůjte, jste-li svatí, kamenujte, aleluja. Krása není hříchem, hříchem bývá přísný půst. Láska je jak píseň, v níž se mění žízeň úst. Aleluja, aleluja.
I can't believe you're in the...
There you go. Get to it. You're almost there.
The historical capital of
That's
Bohemia.
right, the historical capital of Bohemia, Prague. I probably know about as much about it as you do, because I assume you're like looking at Wikipedia right now.
No, I'm looking at my diary of thoughts about Prague, which is home to a number of famous cultural attractions. It's very beautiful. I'm jealous.
It's really
that
beautiful, but at the same time, I'm like maybe becoming like a cynical person about these places. Is that fucked up? Because like I go to these beautiful Disney-esque like European cities.
Yeah, it is Disney-esque. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, exactly. But like I've already been to Budapest and Vienna, and it's just like, well, Prague's just another one of these. I kind of walk around. I'm like, oh wow, it's mind blowing. Oh wow, it's so majestic. And it's like, okay, if you go to like the old town part of Prague, it's like a bunch of castles. All the buildings are beautiful, and there's fucking statues, and it's wonderful. But at the same time, all of that shit attracts like the stupidest tourist shit. I mean, they're selling like trinkets. There's guys in like bear costumes, like big panda bear costumes, trying to entertain children. It's like, okay, well, that's not like fucking Czechoslovakian. That's just a guy trying to get money from dumb
It's just a
tourists.
mentally disabled man trying to make a living.
And
Hate to see that.
I'm here to tear him down.
I hate to see it. Are you using Tinder in Prague?
Getting right to the
Let's talk about the
good
important stuff.
questions. No,
I want to know.
no, I haven't used Tinder in Prague. I used Tinder like parts of Asia because like through Southeast Asia there's a shitload of backpackers, and like the way to meet other English speakers is you open up Tinder and it's like, "Oh cool, let's go hang out and like do a day trip or something." But in Europe,
that's cool. How can you tell like that the English speakers like were just by their facial muscles and they don't look like weird?
what do you mean? What are you saying? I can't tell.
Never mind.
Was that racism? What are you talking about?
You just said that you could tell like you could find other English speakers through Tinder, but it's like how?
Because their
hair
bio
wasn't
is in
black.
English. How did I know they were English?
Oh right, bios. Right, okay. I forgot. Yeah.
Because they were blonde-haired and
Got it.
blue-eyed.
The right way.
The right way to be.
That's the way to be. Mm-hmm. What were you saying?
I was just saying that, like, in Europe, because they're using Tinder the normal way, they're not using it as, like, a backpacker friend finder. Like,
Right.
people there are looking for relationships, or at least dating or something. Whereas my bio was like, hey, if you want to hang, if you want to go on a day trip or grab a coffee, I'm passing through, or whatever. Like,
You changed your bio from that very long Yelp review or whatever it was
my very funny bio about, yeah.
about how the date would go.
About
Cool.
how our date would be us going to a restaurant and me reading Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
It was it was
Now
really
it's just
funny.
like, hi.
You might remember
I'm
it. It's
Derek.
really funny.
I do remember it.
Yeah, well, I made that Tinder bio like with you as a joke so that we could like swipe on people and make fun of them. And this is different because I'm like actually trying to hang out with people. Because
Start a
solo
meaningful
travel
relationship,
makes you go insane because you don't talk to people for a long time.
Yeah, totally. I'm going insane too in Seattle, which is like Prague because it's on a city and it has a temperate climate with warm summers and chilly winters.
Yeah. Does it have castles?
And it's the political and economic center of Central Europe. No.
How long were you in Seattle?
Well, like I was there for a week and then I was here for a week and then I was back and I was back. And I'm going to go there for the whole month of July. But I don't really know anyone, so I like use Tinder and go on like a, first and last dates. Just like edit my podcast at home. But I understand how you feel for once. I just glanced over and the time on our recording was 9:11. What?
You're like, fuck,
That's
are we
what-
almost to the end of this? We've been talking for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
That's funny how that you can like you kind of understand how it is and you've only done it for like week-long stretches in America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just really lonely. I don't know why, because like I don't even like being around people, but like there's something about knowing that, okay, first there's something very like great and relaxing about knowing that I don't have any friends in this city.
No
like,
no
at
social
all.
obligations.
None.
Yeah.
But then like after like editing a podcast or just like sitting home all day with the fat cat, it's like, I don't know. I'm just like seriously going insane.
Yeah, because you don't have
So
anybody.
then I go on a Tinder date.
You don't have anybody to like bounce conversation off of. You feel so like you're not like using yourself. You're just like fucking you're deteriorating like socially. It feels like.
I am deteriorating socially.
And for you, at least, you're like, I don't know, you're in America, so you go somewhere and people are speaking English and shit. But if I'm in the Czech Republic, people are speaking Czech,
But you know what? Yeah, like, okay, the subtle cultural difference between Seattle and Los Angeles, which isn't not subtle actually, but we all speak the same language, is like enough for me to understand. Because like your cultural differences are probably so much different. But I'm just like, oh, I don't understand how to interact with people here. Like, I'll like walk into a coffee shop and like one woman will be behind the counter and we're like the only people there. So I'm like, we're going to be nice to each other. Wrong. She's like, hey, like looks like she's scared. And it's like, it's during business hours. And I'm like, hi, I'll take
she's
this.
like,
And she's like,
I'm sorry, what are you doing here?
okay.
Did I invite you here to buy things from me?
Exactly. It's weird.
You
And
should
I
have
like
warned me
know
ahead
how
of
to
time you were going to
interact.
come into this business.
Why didn't you call first? Actually, never call me, only text. No, but like I know how to interact with people in this city and just even going to another American city, like I don't get it anymore. And I'm very like charismatic, so for you it must be really hard.
Just laughing at your own insult,
I
and
apologize.
it turns into tears.
Now I'm crying.
But that's interesting to me because like weren't you always just saying like, "Fuck, I'm going to move to Seattle. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there forever." And then you go there for a week, and you're like, "People here are weird." Is that what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still open to it. I'm still open to getting used to it because like I know it's just a cultural shift. Like I felt the same thing when I moved to LA and now it's very easy for me to like interact with people here. So I'm like, okay, it might just take some getting used to.
Did you
So I'm
even
still open to
did
it.
you even realize that you like changed and you became an extremely LA person?
No, and I am. I hate
You're
it.
you're
But
extremely LA. You're one of the most LA people I know because you always talk
I
about hating
know.
it.
I know, and I don't hate it anymore. I don't hate it. But yeah, people here are actually like really direct. Like they're not fake like everyone else in the country thinks because of like two reality shows starring dumb blondes, probably created by like the smartest, richest business people in the city. Like people here are smart. They're not fake because they don't have time or energy to be fake. They just tell you whatever they're like thinking. People in other cities have energy to be fake because like the most interesting thing that happened to them might be like a conversation with their neighbor. So they're like, I'm gonna make myself sound really cool. Like there's like
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
bragging in Seattle that there isn't here. It's just different. And I'm getting used to it. But like I am way too direct. It's perfect for Los Angeles. It's really bad for Seattle. I need to like adjust and then see
That's
if I'm
that's
still open to it.
awesome because you get it now. You get it. Like when I
Yeah.
always talk about like
Hmm.
how people in the Midwest are the fakest people, that's what I
Oh
mean.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're
And I'm like,
not
shut up.
fucking direct, and
Yeah.
you can have like a really long interaction with somebody. It's like, well, this is the only person I'm going to talk to today, so we're just going to be
Hmm.
super fucking fake to each other. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes.
Whereas in LA, like it's kind of like I'm going to interact with a shitload of people today.
Yeah.
If we're not interested in each other, it's fine. We'll
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on. You know?
Yes. And I won't try to convince this stranger that everything's going great for me. Like I'll just be myself. It's so
Right.
different.
You'll
Yes,
just
you were right.
wallow in pity.
Yeah.
They start talking to you, and they immediately know how shitty your life is.
Yeah, they're like, "Yep, same." But,
Right.
you know, it's just like very exciting here. You were right about the Midwest. I still want to try it out, but it is very, very different and I don't get it yet.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah, so I can imagine like you going from like country to country, even though I'm jealous, and I that should be me. Just feeling like different, just I don't know, not feeling off balance constantly and feeling cultural shift. But maybe you're good at it. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a combination of like I know I'm not gonna have to live in these places, you know,
Mm,
and in a weird way, I take it less seriously because I know I'm an outsider. So if somebody's like mean to me or something, or they ignore me, or they seem a little snotty because they have to talk to a foreigner, I'm like, that's fine. I'll never see you again.
yeah,
I'm not like part of your society
yeah.
at all. You know, either
Uh-huh.
even if all of you fucking people hated me, that's it. I'm gone in a week. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter.
Yeah.
All I discovered is what Hungarians don't like my personality. Fine. That's never gonna make me cry. You know, I'm not like trying to set up a small business there, trying to get my start.
Uh-huh.
I'm always on my way out. And like another aspect of it too is probably like I just keep busy with different shit to do. So I'm
Mhm.
like always going to like some tourist attraction, like going to see some going sightseeing, I'm going to restaurants, and you know, I have a lot of shit to do. My
Yeah.
interactions with people are like, "Hey, can I have the meat thing with the sauce?" And they're like, "What meat thing with the sauce?" And I'll show them a picture I saw on Google, and they'll go, "Oh, you didn't know the name of the meat thing with the sauce?" Like I'm an asshole, and I'm like, "No, of course I didn't know the name of the meat thing with the sauce. It's Czech. How the fuck I can't pronounce it. It has a bunch of Z's and shit in it."
Do these people speak English to you? Is
No,
everyone just speaking English in
that
other
was an
countries?
example. That was example dialogue. They weren't
But
speaking.
are they like what? How are you
Uh,
getting
in
around?
Europe, I'd say like about 60% of the people I interact with speak English to me.
That's cool.
And then sometimes I mean, a lot of what I'm interested in trying to go to like authentic restaurants off the beaten path that don't like
Hmm.
look like they're just like catering to
Yeah.
travelers.
Yeah.
So it's usually in those places that people are like they don't speak English, but
Yeah.
we get through it.
That's
Again,
cool.
I mean, it's like me pointing at shit. It's like I point at the menu item, they know
Yeah.
that I want it. I show
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
money, they know that I'm not a bum. And we don't have to have a deep
Wow.
conversation about it.
You went all the way there. That'll be $400 for a potato and meat thing, and you're like, no problem.
Prague is pretty cheap.
Oh, cool.
That just means
Well,
I can. I mean, like that's nice, but it's also a problem because it just means I eat way too much food. Because whenever I
yeah.
see something, I can get it if I want it, which is
Well,
always.
you look very thin, like you're wasting away.
All thanks to the tapeworm. I
Nice.
recommend everybody willfully infect themselves with tapeworms.
Yeah.
Get two, because if you have one, it'll be lonely. It's like a hamster.
Wow. It's like cats. Cats that make you fuckable.
So just like normal cats.
Just like normal cats, yeah.
Everybody loves a guy with two cats.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they have like human names, like Alfred and Robert.
Or like Allison and Allison.
Oh, they have to be male cats. Come on, I'm trying to
Do
exude
they?
sex appeal.
Okay. I thought like women cats showed that you are good. I don't know.
They
That
show
they
you're a
trust
good.
you.
They show that you're a good like you're a nurturing like person towards the feminine type. But
Uh-huh.
if you come over to a guy's place and he has two male cats, it's like, well, I'm in the boys' house
The
now.
boy zone, yeah.
It's like I'm coming over to the dorm or something.
Wow. That's very appealing to women coming over to the
that
dorm.
that gets you. I know. It's pretty hot and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you know that, of course you knew this, that Prague's officials chose to cancel the city's planned bid for the 2020 Summer Olympics?
Oh my God! I can't believe I didn't know that thing you just said.
I like only saw half of the sentence, and when I read the whole thing, it wasn't as exciting because the Google Hangouts window was in the way. But that's cool. I guess when you're the
Are you just reading news about Prague so you have something to say?
No.
Was our gentle riffing not enough? You had to bring back in facts. You're trying to be the smart person on the podcast. That's not
Yeah.
allowed. That's not allowed here.
I'm just trying to learn more about the city you're in.
Oh, well, even I haven't done that.
Clearly, what was the
No.
coolest thing you did in Prague?
Like the coolest, most Instagrammable thing, I guess, is I went to this bone church.
What?
I guess I should explain the term bone church. So there's this town, this smaller town outside of Prague called Kutna Hora, I think it's called.
Mhm.
It's east of Prague, and there's this place called the Sedlik Ossuary. I'll send you the name so you can look up pictures of it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Oh, that's cool. I've heard of this place. I really want to go there. I will never.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
badass.
that's a place I would go. That's really cool.
It's this small church that, like, in the 1300s, a bunch of, I would assume, crazy people, crazy monks,
Yeah. Yeah.
said, "What do we decorate our church with?" And they're like, "We got these bones laying around. There was just a big war. A bunch of guys died. What are we gonna do?
Human bones.
What are we gonna do? Bury all the bones? It's a lot of fucking work. No, let's
my
make
God.
a pyramid out of them and put it
fucked up.
inside our church."
It's really cool looking.
No, yeah, it is cool. And like at first,
Wow.
you walk in and you see
Human skulls.
thousands, yeah, skull, everything, rib cages, the shit these people do with bones. It's amazing.
Wow.
Like they're true
Yeah.
artists.
Uh-huh.
And you see
Really
all
screwed
these
up.
bones, thousands of bodies worth of bones when you walk in. At first you're like, "Oh my God, this is fucking creepy and insane." But like you'll be desensitized to it in like 3 minutes because like,
Really?
you'll
Huh.
you'll walk around and you'll be like, "Damn, this is cool."
Oh my
like,
God.
My main impression after leaving it wasn't what a creepy place. It was kind of like, we should decorate more stuff with bones.
Did it smell weird? Like dusty, bony?
No, like they clean off the bones. They don't just. I mean, these are also hundreds of years old.
So they
They're not like.
smell like dusty and like
No, I think
kinda
I
like
think they
chalky.
clean the bones pretty frequently.
gross.
I think they have like bone experts who like take apart the bone pyramid. There's also a bone chandelier, by the way.
Holy shit. That's so offensive to the families. To the families of the bones.
If there's any survivors of the 1300s war, we apologize.
Can you imagine if your like great grandfather, if you knew somehow that like his like bones were in there? That'd be fucked up.
Oh my god, that would be so much better than visiting him at the graveyard. I could go to the bone church and see his head as part of a curtain or something.
That's terrible what you just said. Okay, what about the bone experts who
The bone
don't
experts
exist?
like take apart the bone pyramid and they clean each bone, dip it in some kind of solution to preserve it better, and then they put the bone pyramid back together. So it's actually been like reconstructed since the original like crazy architects of the church
Yeah.
made this thing.
Wow.
There's a new generation of bone experts coming in.
That's screwed up. I wonder who these people are.
I don't know. I don't know if you have to study bones to do it or if you just have to be a guy who really likes
Human skulls.
I mean, because it's like, how do you learn to build bone pyramids? You have to. There's mainly the one.
What
I
if you
guess.
fucked up? You really think no one's fucked up in the whole time? Oops! Oh no! Oh my god! They're all like broken and shit.
I would feel so bad for like busting a skull
Oh my
when
god!
it's supposed to be part of the bone chandelier.
Yeah, Nat. I can tell the story because she was on your podcast. Which episode was she on? Tokyo.
Japan.
Japan?
Yeah, she was with us in Tokyo.
Do you know that story of how like she got cast to be on a reality show and they tricked her into thinking that she was the one playing the prank, but then they like set up a fake dinosaur skeleton in like a real museum, and it was like, we found this new species and here's a skeleton, and they like someone how pushed her and made her think that she like broke the skeleton, like it like all came like crumbling down.
So she was on a reality show where they tricked her into thinking she destroyed a dinosaur skeleton.
Yeah, and they did it by being like, put on this costume and like go like freak out this guy. Like he's supposed to be the one who we're pranking or whatever. And she went in there and they were like, here's this new species. It's this irreplaceable thing. And somehow got her to like trip into the skeleton or something. And she was just like, she reacted exactly how you'd expect. She was like, sorry, I'm gonna go, bye, sorry. And then they were like, just kidding. And she was like, that's really fucked up. Like, she didn't like start crying or anything. She was just like, how dare you.
That sounds like such a, I mean, that
doesn't
sucks that happened to Nat,
yeah.
but it's stupid. That sounds like a stupid concept for a show. So the concept for the show is
Really
that
stupid.
there's a prank show and you think you're pranking them, but you're getting pranked.
Yeah, and it's in this really complicated wraparound way. The show doesn't exist anymore, so it didn't work out.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah. But what if that happened for real in the bone church?
The bone experts are they're waiting in the wings. They want shit like that to happen. That way they can spring forth and build another bone pyramid.
Gross.
All I'm saying is like, why we should build more bone pyramids. We got enough bones.
Okay.
People die every day.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't our malls filled with bone pyramids? Do you know what I mean?
I know. That would really be an effective deterrent to keep people out.
Like, why do we need graveyards? We're fucking up land. We're putting we're putting fucking wood caskets in the dirt filled with bodies that are pumped full of embalming fluid, which is bad for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
We're having these idiots trudge all over a nice lawn with their shoes. You know what I mean? Fucking it up, putting lawn chairs down. Everyone's in dark clothing in the sun. It's just a stupid time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a bad custom.
Mm-hmm.
What we should be doing is somebody dies, we burn all their flesh off, we clean their skeleton, we make them into a lamp or something. That would be so cool. And then like imagine the future. Like even like 200 years from now, if we do this every time someone dies, we'll have entire cities of bone.
Great.
It'll be magical.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the next Prague. People will be like, Prague? Fuck Prague. What, they got castles made out of rocks?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see a castle made out of bones.
Wow.
Right?
No, that's wrong.
There's nothing wrong about it. You just have to get over your phobia.
Sorry.
Your irrational phobia. Yeah. Did bones do something to you when you were
I don't know. Aren't they like kind of
developing?
Like a yellow color or something? Like a yellow-gray bone color? I don't like that.
I think it depends on what color your skin is.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
I've only seen white skeletons, but I just assume they're...
Oh, if it's white, that's fine. Yeah, we
I
can
assume
we
they're
can do that.
white people.
I mean,
White people skeletons are
I
white.
disagree with you, but I think it would be cool to have some outdoor furniture. Like we could like limit it to outdoor furniture, like a fountain, like made of bones, or like, household tools, like a jar opener or something. I don't know.
Jar opener. What bone would that be?
The skull, you use the eye hole. Use the eye hole to open the jar. Anyway,
Oh, you mean a bottle opener?
no, I meant a jar opener.
I don't know what a jar opener is.
It's like that thing where you
Oh, the suction.
yeah. So I guess you'd use the mouth.
You probably use the mouth. I think the eye is too
I
small.
wish I didn't say any of that.
It's okay. I'll edit it back in.
Oh, man.
I'll edit it out and edit it right back
That's
in.
cruel. When it's already out.
Oh,
leave
but
it.
earlier we were kind of talking about like loneliness.
Yeah.
And actually, this week in Prague, I have different techniques, for trying to hang out with people. And one of them was like, yeah, Tinder is good for like meeting random people. Like they have these free tours in every city, and you can just kind of show up at
Oh, okay.
the time. And it's like a historical tour. There'll be a tour guide, and she'll like walk you through some district, and she'll talk about all the buildings and the history there in a really broad way over the course of like 2 or 3 hours. And those are good because normally, you meet somebody and they're like, hey, where are you from? Where are you going? Whatever. And then you can hang out with them.
Nice.
Make a little temporary friend.
Yeah. And you're sure that
Um,
you haven't gotten any of these women pregnant?
They were pregnant when I got there.
Nice.
I wouldn't have talked to them on the tour if they weren't
Oh,
pregnant.
right. Yeah.
In my opinion, a pregnant woman is the only safe one because if they're pregnant already, they can't get pregnant.
Yeah, totally.
Again,
It's not me. It wasn't me. Shaggy.
good topical reference.
Timely, topical.
Yeah. Fuck. I hope I edit this podcast and get out quick while that one's still hot and fresh in the minds of the youth.
So you've met people on these tours. You guys hang out.
I mean, normally that's kind of what happens, but this time we were like halfway through the tour, the free tour, and we like went up to this castle. It's like started pouring down rain like really hard. There was like this sudden downpour. It soaked everybody. I was like stuck in the church, and I ran outside, and they weren't letting people back in the church. They're like, if you're out of the church, don't come back in. You'll get it wet. And
Mean. Oh my God.
so I had to sprint across to this like tunnel where there were a bunch of people crouching in the tunnel, like 100, 200 people. Anyway, the rain ruined the free tour. It cut it off early. I don't know what the fuck happened to the rest of those people. I was talking to somebody on the free tour.
Yeah.
We were getting along, but she's gone.
Oh,
Maybe she's dead. I don't even know.
that's so romantic.
Not that she's dead.
Yeah, that you don't know what happened.
It's also good because I didn't have to pay for the tour at the end because it got got cut off.
Dine
early.
and dash. Classic dine
Yeah.
and dash.
And I already got all the tour I could handle too. I'm full up on the tour.
Cool.
But afterwards, I found this like pub that was serving a traditional Czech dish, which is like beef tartare served with like this brown bread that's deep fried in pork lard.
Oh.
And so you take the tartare and you spread it on the brown bread and you eat it like that. It's so fucking good.
That sounds really good. I
Yeah,
guess.
the tartare is the best I've had,
Mm-hmm.
and I have only had it once before because it normally sounds really gross.
Yeah.
But it was good.
That's cool.
It was good, and I wanted to try it because it's like I'm here. This is like a thing people do here.
Yeah.
Anyway, the place I sat down in was packed when I sat. So after I was sitting down for a couple minutes, I just got my beef tartare. Somebody else came, and they're like, "Can I sit across from you because there's no other seats really?" By the way, a lot of places do this, and I saw this a lot in the Czech Republic, but Europeans do this fucking weird thing where like half the tables are reserved but no one's sitting at them. They're reserved for like hours in advance, and you'll
What?
walk into a restaurant, it'll be like almost completely empty, but they'll be like, "No, you can't sit anywhere." It's fucking weird.
That's weird.
Let me sit.
Yeah,
Let me sit.
I don't like that. Do you think they're lying?
Anyway,
They're lying to you?
yes.
They're like, oh,
I think
that's
everyone's lying to me all
that's
the
reserved by the
time.
king. The king of
I'm
Prague.
like paranoid delusional.
Yeah.
I assume the guy just wants to fuck me over. Anyway, this person sat across from me. They're also a solo traveler. There's this girl from Toronto originally, but she's
Oh.
living in London.
Cool.
And her thing is she moved from Toronto to London so that she would be in Europe and be able to travel to all these places every time she has like a break from work, which is fairly fucking often because like, you know, European labor laws.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know, doing the solo traveling thing in a very responsible adult way.
So are you. You're making a podcast. That's like a solid business investment.
The noblest calling, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not tell her that, but but we did talk. I mean, she was there for the same reason I was there. She wanted to get this beef tartare thing. I guess she like probably looked it up on like the same websites I was looking up. And so I let her try my beef tartare. She said it was good. She ordered the beef tartare. We each enjoyed our beef tartare. And then like we hit it off, so we hung out a couple more times. And, you know, grabbed dinner, and we went on a day trip. We went to like the Bone Museum together. Or we went to the Bone Church together.
That's very sweet.
No, it was nice.
It
It's like,
is.
wow, I have a friend, you
Yeah.
know, and like it was cool to have somebody that's like, okay, every time we hung out, it was like, okay, well, should we hang out tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. And so it was nice.
That's cool.
But at the same time, it was like, you know, she's gonna go back to London, and I'm just gonna keep doing this. So it's like disposable friend.
Kind of.
Just
I don't
like-
know. I mean, like, shit's really fucked up over here. Like, we're losing a Supreme Court justice, and Trump's going to nominate probably the stupidest person living besides himself. Also, this is not a secret, so I can say it because I know she just Instagrammed it. April, our friend, was like, "Hi, I hate America so much." So she went to London, where she is right now. Speaking of London. She fell in love with the lead singer of Gene, which was her favorite band in high school, Gene. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, they're in love now. So she might move there. I don't know. Like,
that was fast, right?
yeah, but like they were like buddies who talked on Twitter because they had the same political leanings, like exactly. She's always loved his music, and then they really hit it off in person. And like a week later, she's like, I think I'm in love. Is that too fast?
She posted that on Instagram?
She did. It was really unlike her. It was weird. Yeah, which is why I think she actually is. And he sounds like he's crazy about her.
That's cool. Yeah, she should move to London. Fuck it. Why
London
not?
is so much better than, I don't
even know. It might suck, but why not, you know? You fall in love and move to London, it's a good story.
Yeah, it's a great story. Especially when abortion's going to be illegal in like a year.
Wow, Mary, that's really fucked up about abortion being illegal. Hey, what's April doing with her apartment? Do you know if she's gonna...
It's in West Hollywood. You want to live in West Hollywood?
I was just goofballing. You know?
Goofballing.
Just goofballing around. Well, okay, yeah, that's true. Things in the U.S. are fucked up, and it's almost I've almost entirely forgot about it.
That's cool.
In a way.
That's good for you. That you don't.
You know, because it's not that I don't care. When I hear about it and when I read about it, I care a lot because it's fucked up. But also at the same time, I'm in the middle of Europe.
Yeah.
And I haven't been in America since January. And so sometimes I read about shit that happens in the US and it's like, okay, that's in another country. That's just another country in a way. And it feels, I mean, it's not good, but I feel a little bit removed from it, you know?
Yeah, well, that is good. It's really stressful right now.
I can't like turn to somebody and be like, how about these fucked up US politics necessarily? Because they'll be like, oh boy, you think that's fucked up? Listen to this stupid thing that happened in Hungary. And I'll be like, hey, guess what? I don't give a shit about Hungary. And they'll be like, hey, I don't care about US, so fuck you. And then we'll fight in the street.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's an example of something that happens to me every day.
Yeah. They're like, hey, they probably don't even explain the Hungarian politics to you because they expect that you should know the way that they know about American politics. And you're like, no.
It's funny. They really don't. Every European is like, Trump. And what am I supposed to be like? The president of Czechoslovakia or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not Czechoslovakia. It's Czech Republic. Anyway, you guys have a president, right? Or a chancellor, or is it a prime minister? Listen, I don't give a shit. See ya.
So what else is happening in Prague?
Prague, yes. Let's talk. Yes.
Yes.
Prague. Another thing I did in Prague was so I'm sure you know about this. Actually, you know what? I'm not totally sure you do because it seems like sometimes you don't keep abreast
Wow.
of everything.
I'm sure that I don't know what you're about to say.
Are you familiar with Anthony Bourdain?
Yes.
Okay, so not alive anymore.
Oh my God.
And Mary, why are you laughing?
No reason.
Um,
Just the thought that you might think that I thought he was still alive. But I did
well,
find out like really who he was after he died. So like you're kind of right.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of thought you're the kind of person that seems like they might not know who he was.
I didn't really, yeah.
Anyway, he's a food guy, travel guy.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's brilliant in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
and he had a good attitude. I think about food and travel and life.
Mhm.
That I mean, me personally, I would say that I like maybe admired him in a way, or at least he inspired me. As corny
Mhm.
as that sounds, like watching his shows
No.
when I was younger, he went everywhere. He went to all these different places, and he would always talk about the food and the people there as being relatable, like something interesting to explore and find out about what other cultures are like, how they cook, how they live.
Yeah.
And watching that when I was younger kind of opened me up to the experience of like opened me up to like I would do that myself. There's nothing to be afraid of. The
Yeah.
only thing you can get out of travel is new experiences.
Mhm.
When I heard that he died, it bummed me out a lot. It made me,
Oh.
you know,
Mhm.
that was awful. Like
Mm.
a bad thing to hear, ruined my day, of course.
Yeah.
But Anthony Bourdain, like one of my favorite episodes is the one where he goes to like Hanoi in Vietnam.
Mhm.
And when I went to Hanoi, a lot of the places I went to were like things mentioned on that episode. I tried to eat all the things he ate.
Oh, that's cool.
After he died, I found out about this place outside of Prague called Little Hanoi.
Mhm.
Apparently, Czech Republic has one of the biggest populations of Vietnamese outside of Vietnam in Europe. And I guess that was from like when Czech Republic was part of the USSR and there
Mhm.
was like some kind of exchange or whatever through that. Anyway, so I went to Little Hanoi and I went to a restaurant and I had like really good like Hanoi style pho.
Mhm.
They even had like the Chinese like long donut thing that you can dip in the soup and eat.
Cool.
And I ate a bunch of those. It was like a rainy day, it was perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
A rainy, shitty day in Little Hanoi.
Uh-huh.
It was gray like it was when I was actually in Hanoi. So that was kind of my little
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
like, I felt bad. I was reminded of this guy I admired and I ate some soup in his honor. That's all I could do
Yeah.
was eat some soup in his honor.
Yeah, I was like bummed out that I didn't know more about him when he was alive because like he seemed like an actually curious person, which is such a good trait in people, like being curious, actually,
Mhm.
instead of being like Logan Paul, being like, I'm going to the suicide forest in Japan so I can get a lot of YouTube views or whatever.
Yeah, or
Trying to seem
even
tight.
like that other guy, Andrew Zimmern or whatever, where it's like, ooh, they eat fucking cow testicles and bugs and shit. He'll,
Right.
he'll go to a country and it's like this is weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is
Even though like
different.
nobody in that country eats that shit ever, there's like one stall. They found one guy that does it, and they're
Mhm.
like, look, everybody loves it.
That's how I feel when people talk about the used underwear and vending machines in Japan, because I'm sure that that exists slash existed. But I've been going to Japan. Like I used to go every year, years and years ago, and then I've been there like 15 times ish, and I've never seen that. I've been to like Tokyo, other major cities, other towns. Like I feel like I would have seen it, and I never have. And people are always like, "I want to go to Japan and get some underwear out of a vending machine," and I kind of want to be like, I feel like that is like maybe something that happened twice, or like some sicko as a joke put underwear in a vending machine and was like, we sell this because we're so weird, and that's like what Japan is known for sexually.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, I was there for a month and a half earlier in the year, and like, I didn't see that, and I was looking. No, but
I
I,
haven't
I
ever
think what it
seen it.
was, I think in the 90s or something, there was a place in Akihabara. It was like a sex shop,
Uh-huh.
and they had the vending machine in the sex shop. It's not like the vending
Oh,
machine was on the corner or something. It was,
yeah.
You know, like in Japan, you'll go into stores and they'll have their own vending machine,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
It was that.
Oh my god. Okay. So they're like just
So that
vending
it's
machines have underwear in them in Japan, but it was like a sex shop. Okay, that
when
makes
really
sense.
when we talk about Japan, we should be talking about all the other incredible shit they have in vending machines, like how on every corner you can get a hot beverage,
Uh huh.
you know.
Yeah. Out of a fucking
Like,
robot.
why don't we talk about that?
We.
Instead, it's like, oh, underwear, haha, that's so gross. It's like, well, let me tell you about convenience and hydration. Okay, let's be serious. Let's talk about the good
Hydration.
shit.
I love Japan so much.
But wait, did you go there alone or you were going with your mom,
No,
right?
I went there alone. I went to Tokyo alone, and I've been to very small towns alone as well, but not
Wait, how
recently.
was that?
It was great. It was amazing. Like I want to move there. Like everyone who goes to Japan is like, I could live here, but it's like reasonably I couldn't do that. It's too expensive. But it's, fucking great. When I was there alone, it was
It's
great.
not much more expensive than the States, but it's like, how would you get a visa and what would
How would
you
I work?
do there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah, but the only bad thing about it, because like when you're in Japan, this is the Prague episode, but it's like a culture of like people take pride in their work and you learn that. So you're like, wherever I'm sitting or eating, it's clean, it's gonna be good. Like I just trust the country kind of thing. But I almost started smoking when I was in Japan alone once because like everyone has these cool ass lighters and they're like really stylish and everyone's smoking. I was like, I should start smoking. And then I was like, what the fuck? No. So
That's
it's a
actually
bummer.
changing. Like over the past couple years, they've banned like smoking on the street.
What?
Not a lot of people smoke on the street anymore, and they haven't banned it in restaurants yet, but I think they're about to.
Wow.
And most restaurants that do have smoking, or a lot of them, at least in Tokyo, have like separate rooms for it.
Cool.
So
Okay.
it's changing. And next time you go there, maybe you won't be tempted to smoke.
Maybe I should just move there now. Now that you said that. I'll
Yeah,
figure it
now there's
out.
nothing holding you back.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you were going to Japan alone?
That was when I was like a junior in high school. But then I went there again a couple years later. But like yeah, when I was like a junior in high school, I was like smoking seems like a great
Wow,
idea.
you were like a kid.
Well, yeah, I was like on an exchange with like a college class. I don't know how that happened, but and it was really dumb because like the college classes we were taking were in English, like all of them.
Right.
But it was just silly. It was just like an excuse. It's like all those exchange programs are just like an excuse to be in another country. And my
Yeah,
mom
I
knew
mean it's
about
a
it,
good
so
country to go to on an excuse.
yeah,
So
totes. Just like Prague, which is a country or a city.
thanks for trying to get it back to the subject, I guess.
No, it's not. It's a city in the Czech Republic or a region.
The in Bohemia,
That's what I said. That's
Sure.
exactly what I
Yes.
said.
Do you got any questions about Prague? Maybe I can field some questions.
Well, actually, I have a question about. So I haven't talked to you except once the whole time you've been gone, which has been months. As
Mm.
being in all these different countries, which I've never done, it's really unusual. Have you learned anything about yourself,
Oh man. Yeah, I think
or just like how to live? Like, what wisdom are you gonna pass down to me, your daughter?
I mean, definitely you're only going to get wisdom. I'm not going to like leave you any material belongings.
Okay, we'll see.
No, those will all go to Nambla. Uh
That's a fucked up thing to say.
I think I learned, there's this stupid thing where like I don't believe this. But it's something that everyone says, so even if you don't believe it, you kind of acknowledge it as a thing, which is the introvert extrovert thing. And I think for the longest time I thought, I'm kind of an introvert. If I had to choose one of those two things, of course I am. I like to sit around inside. I
Yeah.
have friends that I love, but I don't need to see them every day or whatever. And I think during this whole experience, like I'm never in want of entertainment. I never feel like, oh shit, there's not enough cool stuff to see, or there's not enough food to eat, or there's not enough to do. I mean, there's
You're
always
never
things I
like
could
bored.
be
Yeah.
doing, but there's a lot of times where I kind of look around. I'm like, I need people.
Yes.
I mean, and the only thing about that is like I don't need just fucking generic people, which is that's part of why I hate hostels. And it's like the hostels are full of generic people. If I just want to hang out with fuckers that like reggae and drinking, I can go to a hostel. But those aren't my people. So like when I was saying I met that girl earlier at the beef tartare thing, it's like oh, I found somebody that I can talk to. That's
Hmm.
huge.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things I learned is like I can't go even like a couple days without having a real conversation.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I'm not a fucking
Me
person.
too. Yeah. And I considered myself an introvert too. And I thought that was like, if you live in LA for like longer than a year, I feel like it makes your personality better. Like you just become more extroverted and better at talking to people.
Oh man, you love LA now. I am
I
so
don't.
impressed and
I
proud of
hate
you.
you. And
Yes,
LA.
you
I hate
do.
you and LA so
You
much.
you have come around so hard on
Stop
LA.
saying that. No, it okay. It's true though. I grudgingly will admit, like, if you live here, your personality will get better. I do think the people here have the best personalities in the US, you know? Like, and that's like saying a lot. Because I lived in Montana and Minneapolis where people are very nice. And I love Seattle the most. And I've
Right.
been to New York. And like I've been around. LA people are the fucking coolest. And but yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Cause like I'm an only child. I think of myself as an introvert, but I do need a friend group. Maybe that's why I'm going so crazy in Seattle because like even if I have like plans where I see people, they're not like, you know, like you said, people who I would choose to have a conversation with.
You're not part of their
Not
network.
at all.
They're just a
Yeah.
person. You're
Mhm.
just like single
Mhm.
people interacting in like a one-off situation. It's not the same as like being in your
Yeah.
group. And I haven't had a group.
Yeah.
Even when I like hit it off with somebody and we have a couple good conversations and we go out a couple times, at the end of the day I'm not part of their like
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. I know. It's fucked up that we care about that. It's really weird. Cuz like after 2 days,
I mean it's
yeah,
normal.
but like I'll have to like call April who's not even in the country or Mindy who's not even in the country and have like a long conversation just to feel halfway sane. But I also feel like I
Yeah.
need friends. I didn't know that. This is about me now.
I mean we're social animals. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that the other day. Like I went on a hike outside of Prague and I was like somewhere in the woods and I was like on a path but it disappeared and I was in a field and then there were like for some reason there were a bunch of like fucking spider webs and shit and I didn't know where I was going. My phone was dying and I was kind of thinking like humans are social animals and I've like secluded myself and if I died right now I would fucking deserve it because
Oh
this is
my god.
because it's like
You thought that?
I'm going against my
Wow.
natural instincts, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean. I was also
Uh-huh.
thinking like what are there bears out here? I don't even know. I didn't type
Of
in
course there are
I didn't
bears in Prague.
type in Prague
Yeah,
deadly animals. What maybe there's bears, maybe there's fucking black widows dropping by the hundreds from the
totally.
treetops. I have no
Hmm.
idea, you know. But I'm just thinking like just
Yeah.
survival wise, why would one person be
In the
alone in the
woods.
woods? Are they? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, why would that ever
Uh-huh.
happen? Why am I not with my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tribe?
You're like, I'm too good for them.
I'm like a fucking leper. I've been outcast from
Uh-huh.
society. I've been gaslighted into thinking I need to go on my own journey. Who convinced
Yeah.
me of that?
Gaslighting is a really
You know what I
strong word
mean?
for what you just described.
I'm just saying like if a caveman
Yeah.
4,000 years ago said, "I'm going to go on a journey," dead. He's
Oh
dead
my
in a
god.
week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? That guy is
Yep.
super dead.
Super dead.
Say good say goodbye to Zach the caveman. He's dead.
Okay. Zach. That name didn't come around until 600 years later.
Right, in
That's a
3400
really
BC.
interesting thought that you were like, if I die, I just deserve it because I strayed from the tribe and removed myself from society on purpose.
I just mean like there's something about being in a group. You feel like a
Yeah.
warmness, you know? It's like this is what people are supposed
Yeah.
to do. This is what matters is the communication between
Yes.
different people. And I guess that would lead me to point number 2. Lesson number 2 that I learned. Lesson number 2 is fucking hokey as it sounds. I feel like I could kind of get along in any
Hmm.
place, at least temporarily. I don't want to live in Prague or I don't want to live in a place where I don't like speak the
Hmm.
primary language. But people are people. They will treat you with some kind of respect, even if it seems like they're rude assholes because it's their
Hmm.
culture, or whatever. They'll treat you a certain way, and you can interact with them.
Yeah.
You know, because you're the same
Yeah.
animal
Hmm.
basically, and you want the same shit. You want like food.
Hmm.
and shelter, and you want to be acknowledged or left alone, and you want to feel safe in your environment, and that's what cities are supposed to be built to
Yeah.
be for. I will say also that like people in Prague are chill, so
That's cool. They don't hate Americans.
they're not rude assholes.
That's good.
They might hate Americans, but be good at hiding it. I don't
Have
know.
you been using a fake British accent everywhere you go or something? That's false
Hello, mum.
advertising. That's false
Hello, mum.
advertising. Oi, I want the meat
Actually,
and potato thing.
give me a give me a blood banger and mash. Give me an apple. I don't know.
I don't know.
Actually, my Airbnb host, I was talking to my Airbnb host, and she was like, "Are you Canadian?"
You're like, yes, God, yes. Thank you.
And I said, "Why she asked me that?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know. You seem nice, so I didn't."
Aw. You're like, I'm from
Yeah, it was a
Hollywood.
good compliment.
I'm from
Any
Hollywood,
compliment.
California.
I'm from Hollywood. Hollywood, where we treat people right.
And then you kissed
The
her.
good place. Yeah, sure did. It's customary in Prague to try to kiss your Airbnb host. It's something started
Yeah,
by the Hapsburg family
really specific.
in the 1800s.
Cool.
Do you know about the Habsburgs?
Not at all.
Okay.
Are you
It's
being
a big
serious?
Yes, it's a big topic in Europe. Whenever you go to any like European country and you go on a tour, half the tour will be about the Habsburgs.
Really? That wasn't in this Wikipedia article. House of
It's part of
Habsburg.
Oh.
history. Cool. One of the most distinguished royal houses in Europe. Of course, I've heard of them. Who cares about royal? Is that the only thing? What are they even talking about? Were they like, they had so much money?
They had a lot of money. They controlled a lot of countries. They would marry off different members of the family to like be the king or
Whoa.
queen of different countries, and I mean they all like married each other. That's where the Habsburg chin comes from, because they would like marry each other and do incest. And then after a while, their kids were like fucked up and inbred and like weak,
Gross.
all dying from like fucking hemophilia. And
That's like the fucking most tragic thing. What if you were born as like an inbred, really rich, like product of royalty because your family was sociopathic enough that they're like, the only important thing is being in power. That's the only important thing. I'll fuck my sister. No one else.
yeah,
to
well,
stay in
I
power.
don't think they knew what was happening. They were just like, huh, why do we look like fucking weird, deformed people? Who knows?
It's very attractive.
Here's Charles II of Spain was one of the most inbred members of the Habsburg family.
Googling
And
it.
after he died, the physician who performed his autopsy stated the body, quote, did not contain a single drop of blood. His heart was the size of a peppercorn. His lungs were corroded. His intestines rotten and gangrenous. He had a single testicle, black as coal, and his head was full of water.
Dude, I dated a guy that looked like that. I wonder if he was like, he had inbred ancestors, because I think their family was from Europe. Like, he looked like Charles II of Spain. I am not
Did
joking.
he have a single testicle, black as coal?
Yes. No, but he had like the same kind of like long face and the way it kind of like goes out a little bit. That's
I like how you're making fun of this guy you dated, but you dated him. Why did you date someone that looks like Charles II of Spain?
He was like
the most inbred member of the
very
Habsburg
smart,
family.
and it was also, I was like young and stupid, and it started long distance. And you know how like I start wrong shit long distance because I'm like stupid. You know,
get excited.
I'm like, this person's a good writer. That means that we have good
It's like
chemistry.
online shopping. If it happens
Yes.
long distance, you're just like, oh, it's great, and then
It's
it gets
exactly
there, and you're like,
like
fuck, I
online
paid too much for
shopping.
this.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, for like you look at it online, you're like, wow, that black sock is perfect for me. I can pick a black sock online, and then it comes, and you see the fabric in real life, and you're like, fuck, I fucked up.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I didn't date him for that long. He deserves to be made fun of. I don't care. Seriously, he's a bad guy. Maybe because he was a product of incest from way back, from his like, you know, great grandfather.
Are you? I feel like you're victim blaming products of incest. First of all,
I am.
they're people of incest. You don't say call them a product.
Monsters.
That's problematic.
They're monsters of incest.
Monsters of Incest is the name of a metal band.
No.
It's pretty good.
No.
Thanks for the small, encouraging laugh.
You're welcome. Gotta do something to fill the silence. I'm not even listening to what you're saying.
Would you ever go to Prague?
Yeah, if I could afford it.
Why would you go to Prague?
Because it's the cultural and economic center of Europe. I don't know. It looked beautiful. It has a lot of castles and rivers, and you said that people are nice. I believe you. The name
They
sounds
are, yeah.
fancy. It has a fancy name.
Somewhat fancy. It,
Prague.
it it does have a cool atmosphere. Actually, I think you would dig Prague because outside of like the touristy zone, which is kind of like the tourist zone of any European major city where it's, castles and shit and people selling donuts, the outskirts of that, the actual like, the place where the people actually live, they're cool. It's full of like cute little shops, like coffee shops and bakeries and
I
restaurants
love
and pubs.
bakeries. Hot guys there?
Hot guys.
It feels
I,
like
th-
Prague would
I,
have hot guys.
it's taking me a second because I have to like draw on my memory because I don't. This is not the shit I remember. But I'm kind of thinking like, well, the women were pretty well put together,
Mm.
and so I think the guys also took care of themselves, is what I'm remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took care of themselves. People dressed well. I mean, the young people, they're fashionable. I think the young people in Prague were like fairly hip,
Cool. But their teeth are all fucked
good
up,
looking.
probably.
No, that's England.
Oh. Wow.
No,
Wow.
no. In Czech, gorgeous teeth.
Really?
Known for their teeth. You should
That's
see the
not.
bone
Okay,
church. They've
come
got
on.
great teeth on display. No, but I don't know. It's got a chill atmosphere, like where you're walking through a neighborhood and everyone's out. Like the first night I was there, I went out with actually the Airbnb host and her friend, and they took me to like this beer garden, and we sat up on like the
Mm.
roof of some building over a park. We were looking at the city of Prague at dusk. Tons of people were out just chilling. A very like
Cool
friendly, cool Prague atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow, a lot of people are out. This is cool. Is it like a holiday or something? And they're like, no, it's Wednesday.
Nice. They're like, we aren't all depressed here. We do stuff.
No, yeah, it's not a button down place. It's a very like chill, casual place. And actually, the
That's cool.
dude, her friend, the Airbnb host friend, was an American who had been living in Prague for like 11 years. So he liked Prague. I think he came there for a minute and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to live here. This is great."
Wow. That could have been you.
Could have been, wasn't. I've been traveling too much, so every place just feels like. I think if I had gone just to Prague straight from the U.S., I would have been like, "Oh, this place fucking rules."
Yeah.
But because I've seen a ton of cities beforehand, it was kind of like, "Oh, Prague is like Budapest or Vienna." It,
Oh my God, I hate you so
the
much.
calm parts of it remind me of Krakow in some ways.
Jesus Christ. You're a
And
world
these are like
traveled
really
man.
different places, okay? But my small brain, I just like compress them all into
Yeah,
one
yeah.
experience.
You're like, oh, this is like this. There's not
Yeah,
enough.
because I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a genius. I
I
don't
know.
know the politics and history of every country. I don't know. They're speaking different languages. I can't fucking tell the languages apart. They're all just not English to me.
What? You look like you're about to say something really mean, but then didn't.
No, I don't know. I mean, like, the weird thing about traveling is, in one sense, it makes you appreciate every place.
Yeah.
Because every place is different, every place is unique. For example, if you just went to one city, you might be like, oh, I don't like that city that much. You go home, that's the end of it. Or you love it or whatever. But you have like kind of a one dimensional on or off experience maybe with the city. If you travel to a ton of different places, you start experiencing things in grades. So like when I talk about my favorite cities I've been to, there's like a top 5 or something, but I can't say which one's my favorite. They're all different, you know what I mean? I appreciate them on different levels for different reasons.
Yeah.
But because of that, there's not a rigid hierarchy. It's like there's a blurring of lines.
Yeah. Right.
So when I think about Prague, it's like, well, Prague is just one of those. And by one of those, I mean it's one of Budapest, it's one of Vienna. And I
Wow.
know they're different places, but I got to like save space in my brain. I'm just putting it into a category.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You are going crazy, you're right.
I'm going insane. I've
Yeah.
fucking lost it.
You've lost your mind. What you just said, crazy. But I do have to go because I'm going to be late for lunch.
Damn, you stack up appointments. Classic LA Mary.
I know it sucks. Yeah. feel bad.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for talking to me. It was really great talking to you. And learning
Well-
that we both like people.
Disturbing.
We both
disgusting.
need friends.
Not necessarily each other.
Wait, do you have any siblings?
No.
That's what I thought. But like in my mind, I was like, no, wait, Derek has a brother that he never talks about. But I knew that we were both only children. And that's why I thought we didn't need friends, but we do.
Damn.
But you're right, not necessarily each other. We'll see.
I can't wait to see how our friendship turns out.
Hashtag
Good
me
or
too.
bad.
Yeah. Thanks for talking to me. Have a great time in Prague, the rest of your Praguecast.
Just had to fit in the word Progcast.
One more time. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll have to edit it out.
You don't you dare.
All right.
Don't you dare.